Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about The Later Daters, Season 1, Episode 2.
Listen here, we may be doubling these episodes, but not now. Depending, because there's still a lot of information in these episodes individually. But subscribe, like, share, comment. Thank you to those who have commented and thanked us for watching the show. Listen here, we gonna try to give y'all what we think y'all want. You get what I'm saying? You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Anise comes back to the table after she took a little breather.
Come on now.
To her date. He tells her that he liked watching her walk away, and she gives a little ghetto.
There we go.
Anise says that she has to go. Her Uber is outside.
That quick?
He tried to say the night was still young and, they don't have to rush off, but he ends up walking her to her car.
Listen here, man. Did she get what? What was my man named George?
Shoot, I didn't write his name down this time. I think it was George.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you think do you think he was overdoing it because he was nervous?
No.
Oh wow. Okay, you ain't trying to give George no bail?
No. And I looked at another review and I watched back the part where she walked in, and George actually rolled his eyes when she came in.
Oh, okay.
And I think that he looked at her and immediately judged her as maybe superficial or just whatever he was gathering from her cover. Maybe he thought she was a little bit ghetto. I don't know. But
I don't know how he looked at her to see ghetto.
But I think that I don't think she looks ghetto at all, but I think that because she puts her body on display that he might judge her because she's an older woman and she looks the way that she does.
Yeah.
I do think that with him, I think he was treating her the way he felt she deserved to be treated. I don't know if you guys have just in the dating world, or some guys would be like, oh, well, if it's a queen, I know she's a queen and I'll treat her as such. If it's, somebody who I can mess around with, then I'll treat her as such. So I feel like George judged her by that and is treating her like somebody he can just mess around and have fun with.
That makes sense. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Well, Frank was in the right direction when it came to Suzanne, but he's not quite the match for her.
Those kids, huh?
Suzanne said it was fun. He was charming. She wasn't ready to throw her hat in yet. She also isn't a fan of him having younger kids, which they're not super young, 16 and 19, but young enough for Suzanne.
Yep.
And he seems to be into younger women because that's why he has younger children.
Yeah.
We see Nate and Jackie meet up. He couldn't remember where he went with his date, but they went to a restaurant. He liked how she looked.
Yeah.
Jackie had a long list of questions, wanting all the details. And he pretty much says that while he was talking, she was kind of like air checking all the boxes. She checked a lot of his boxes, but the negative was that when he led her to pray, she started talking about wanting a godly man.
Yeah.
He says that he believes in God, he believes in prayer, but he is not into church, and he does not want to be up in church all day at this point in his life. He feels like women in their age bracket tend to be in church a lot, and they want their men in church, and he is not going for that.
Hey, listen here. I'm not hating on his justification about older women in church.
Okay.
I'm judging on how do you know that was her though?
Right, he didn't even get a chance to know.
like,
because maybe she might not be into church. She might be from church from home somebody.
And my whole thing is you brought up praying. You get what I'm saying? He said he's a C&E type of person. He's a C&E type of Christian, where he go to church on Christmas, New Year's, and Easter. You get what I'm saying? So, what is your thoughts? Let's get off Nate for a minute. What is his best friend name again?
Jackie.
What is your thoughts on Jackie? Because I understand they best friends and they have a child together and things of that nature. But what is your thoughts on just her being so invested in his dating life? I see it looks like,
Yeah, for Jackie it just feels like she's always around.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of their dynamic.
Really?
I understand that people can be friends with their exes or friends with people who they have children with. And that probably is the best case scenario when you do have kids with someone, to be able to be friends with the other parent. But it's too close for me. I feel like when he does have another woman come in, that dynamic is going to need to change. And I can see that being a challenge for them or Jackie.
I think for Jackie more, I think he's fine with them being what they are.
Yeah.
I think she keeps putting herself in his view hoping that he choose her. You get what I'm saying? But maybe I look at Nate like this, right? And maybe it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm gonna try, right? When it comes to women, women can most likely survive more being single because they do a good job managing their village, meaning they have girlfriends, they have people that care about them and things of that nature. With guys, when guys get older, usually their guy friends usually marry off, and it's kind of hard for a guy to keep their village the older they get, right? I feel like Nate is living, he's all man, so listen to what I'm about to say, but it's like he got the benefits of like a woman's village, because even though he don't have a person, I don't see him as lonely, because the best friend is there almost every day.
Yeah.
It's like he always has somebody to talk to. He has somebody to bounce ideas off of. He has somebody to laugh with and things like that. So even though he is single, I don't get the sense that he's alone or lonely. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just the benefit of him having his best friend come by every day, drinking his drinks and eating his food and stuff like that. I don't know.
Right. Well, it's Suzanne's second date. She is going out with Avery.
Okay.
He is 59, divorced, been single for 10 years, 3 kids, and he is a financial advisor.
Okay.
She found him handsome, but she wanted to know where the roses were.
Oh, no flowers.
She is into traveling and exercise. He asked her if she's had any type of work on her knees as far as knee replacements, and she's like, no, thankfully I've been lucky. I haven't had any of those issues.
Nice.
Avery majored in English, but found his way into finance. He is kind of bitsing and piecing her, kind of being mysterious. So Suzanne is actually intrigued by him because he's keeping that kind of mystique factor about him.
Yeah.
And she finds it charming. Frank, on the other hand, was very open, and she's seeing now that they are both two very different people.
Uh-oh.
Suzanne and him get to talking, and she learns that his brother is a neurosurgeon, and he says the name of his brother, and she says, oh, I've actually met him because her husband worked for Medtronics, which I'm assuming is some type of like company that supplies like hardware and stuff like that for surgeons and things like that. And she was saying that she met him through her husband, and Medtronics is great because they have put a lot of food on her plate.
What is your thoughts on Avery? I see your little sign over there about Avery and things of that nature.
Yeah, I like Avery for her. I think that they got along really well. I feel like Suzanne, I think that she is a very beautiful woman.
Okay.
And I think that sometimes the guys can get enamored with her, which is a good thing, but on the other hand can be a bad thing because it's like they want her without really getting to know her. At least that's the sense that I got from Frank. He was just so like, wow, she's beautiful.
She is beautiful.
Yeah. And it's just like, yes, she is beautiful, but I feel like you're too focused on that. And I felt like Avery kind of held things kind of close to his chest a little bit to where they got to know each other without him seeming too enamored with her.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I like Susan. I like Susan a lot. But sometimes she gives off, and maybe it's a benefit, she gives off of like, it should be nice to have another partner, but I don't really need it. You get what I'm saying?
It seems like she's just having fun dating.
Yeah,
right
it just feels like, especially when you see her, I think it's in this episode or maybe the next one. I think it's in this one where she's like grilling outside with her kids and things like that. The kids come over to the house and they're all, it's like she has a strong unit when it comes to like her family and things like that. So, but maybe that's the benefit, or maybe that's how you can actually go about it with a clear head because you're not desperate for like another partner. Listen, she's willing to dump you if you don't like her college football team. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So like maybe to her, she's just like, I'm doing more than what was expected of me at this age anyway. So I can just date and just be happy with that. And truth be told, go ahead.
Yeah. We see the cast talk about catfishing. Yeah. They throw in these little segments of like how dating was back in the day versus dating now. And we learned during this segment that Nate's real first name is George.
Well, his first name is George.
Next, we meet Pam, who is 70.
Okay.
She was married twice and has been single for 15 years. She lives with her granddaughter, Zoe, and she got custody of Zoe when she was in the 5th grade. She was 22 when she met her first husband. He was a rock star. She moved to England with him, and she had her son with him. Zoe thinks that her grandma needs a younger man because she is a very energetic lady.
Yeah.
Pam lives in a rural area outside of Atlanta. Not a lot of people to date out there, and her friends don't want to hang out because they don't like to drive at night.
First of all, I think she said that they just got internet a year ago over there. What are your thoughts on Pam?
First impressions of Pam, I thought that, like, very energetic. She kind of came across a little bit hippie-ish to me.
I was going to say that.
Kind of go with the flow, but I have more thoughts of Pam on her date, but first impressions was she just seemed pretty easygoing and chill, so I was kind of surprised that she hadn't met anybody. But when she said she was in rural Atlanta and she really isn't around people, then I guess that would be the answer.
Yeah, rural Georgia. I got rebel. And I got that because she said that when she started dating the rock star guy, like her parents like abandoned her. Like basically was like, hey, look, if you go do this and be basically this rebel girl, this free spirit girl, look, you can't be with us. She was like, well, I left.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, you're kind of like a rebel. You kind of go against the grain and things of that nature. Let's keep going.
So Suzanne and Avery.
Yeah.
He is from Alabama. He is an Alabama fan. She is a Georgia Bulldog fan. Suzanne says that is a big no-no.
It is a big no-no. Only thing worse than that is Auburn. To be an Auburn fan. She
tells him that she is into Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, boy. She's doing this line again, y'all.
And Avery says that he does like him. He seems like a pretty stand-up dude. He also mentions that he thinks he's going to run for office or something along those lines. So he gives her a little more in the Matthew McConaughey conversation than Frank did.
Yeah, I don't understand old people talk. I don't know nothing about that.
So they had a good conversation. He felt at ease around her and felt like she was genuine. He asked her to go out again with him, and Suzanne says that she cannot tell him that right now because she wants to be a little bit mysterious herself.
Hey, listen, don't try to take a page out of my playbook. I'm the mysterious guy. I like them together. At least put like this. She only been on 2 dates so far. I like him better than I like Frank. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, for her.
Yeah, Frank can't sit down. His body start hurting and things of that nature.
So Anise meets up with her daughter.
Yes.
First impressions were good. He was handsome, gave her flowers, but he kept saying things that were off-putting to her. The number of baby daddy comments, if she had work done, and then he would say things under her breath that he thought she didn't catch, like the part where he said he F's around in Atlanta.
Just a little bit.
He talked about how black women with blonde wigs were ghetto, and the daughter got offended because she had on a blonde wig and she does not find that to be ghetto. Her daughter says that's ridiculous. And next. Okay. On to the next one.
George, I tried to advocate for your brother. I don't think you're gonna be back on the show for like a niece at least.
You don't need to be back nowhere. He need to keep on doing what he's been doing. Come on,
man. George deserves love too, man. You know what I mean?
Next, we have Suzanne and Avery. They both have dogs. And then Allison arrives. She meets Avery. I don't know why Allison has to meet all the dates. Maybe so it could be facial recognition if her mom goes missing. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting 20 on 10.
I'm about to say, she's. I don't think she's meeting her. I think she's picking her up.
Yeah, she is. But Allison would be meeting everybody her mom goes on a date with.
It's only been 2.
So Avery enjoyed the date. He would love to see her again.
Yeah.
Suzanne FaceTimes Logan, the dating coach, and she says that he was great. She didn't think she could tell him whether or not they could have a second date yet. And Logan said, okay, you like to keep him guessing. She's dating how people dated 40 years ago, playing hard to get, being coy. Yeah. But she's not allowing herself to be in the driver's seat when it comes to this dating process. The producers end up helping them exchange numbers.
But you can't date how you dated 40 years ago because you don't have another 40 years, Suzanne. You get what I'm saying? So I wish I can see Logan, the dating coach, be a little bit more hands-on, and not hands-on in the sense of like, because you have to be careful being hands-on with Suzanne because she's just going to repeat exactly what you tell her.
Right.
But kind of give more of the pros and cons, kind of go into the details of the date so they can kind of like make like continual gradual steps with each date besides the her just being like, so how was it? Oh, okay, you just keeping them guessing, and then kind of just leaving it like to her discretion of how to handle the next date or like the next person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I would agree. Like, I'm not a fan of the playing hard to get, being coy thing, not even in your 20s, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you like someone, then you should show it. And you should make an effort to get to know the person and really have a good, genuine relationship and getting to know each other. All those games, I feel like it creates a sense of distrust. And I also think that, you know, people also deal with any types of things from their past that could be creeping in. And for you pulling back and acting like you're not into them, some people will take it at face value and assume that you're not into them.
That's it. Yeah.
So I really do think that if you're dating somebody and you're interested, show your interest. It doesn't make you seem weird or like thirsty to me, or at least the right person won't think that way about you. How do you feel about the whole playing coy thing?
I like that. I like hard to get. Like, no guy want no easy girl. Like that just because usually if you're easy, trust me, if you're easy, and we as guys can smell it off you like immediately. Like, oh, if you just go say yes, it's just like a guy wants a prize, and a prize is something that you win, something that you earn, not just something that just jump in the boat with you. You get what I'm saying? It's like, no, like I want to be able to win you, to be able to show you off. Not like so much as like a trophy wife, but just like, oh, okay, like you are somebody that's not easy. You get what I'm saying?
Interesting. Okay. So Pam meets the dating coach, Logan.
Okay.
Pam used to be a flight attendant. She has little trinkets from all over the world, from her travels, and her home is very eclectic.
Yeah.
She knew John Lennon. Her second husband passed away 15 years ago. Logan says that Pam's home is a shrine to the past. And she also said Pam was telling her ghost stories. Zoe is going to be getting married soon. So part of this is so that Zoe can have a social life and doesn't have to be around Pam all the time. But Pam says that she does get lonely. Logan tells her to have an open mind, don't be stuck in the past, and don't tell any ghost stories.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. Let's keep going.
Nate is preparing for his second date. He's hoping that he will be more open to being vulnerable like Logan told him to do.
I'm about to say, I don't think you did what she told you to do in the first date, buddy. Let's go.
So we see Anise and Nate go on a date with each other. And I initially thought, okay, this is going to be a hit. I really felt like they would connect. And I didn't know if they would have the contestants date each other.
That I did not know. But I knew it wasn't going to be a hit. I knew it wasn't going to be a hit off bat because she's older.
Oh.
So I was like, no, that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna work for him and things of that nature. And what he said in the first date, like he don't run. You get what I'm saying? Like so
he can't do physical.
Yeah, and I feel like Anise, even though she's in shape, and when I say in shape, I don't take that lightly. I think she's really in shape for her age. You get what I'm saying? But have you ever met somebody, and maybe you haven't, but have you ever met somebody that's like want to prove to you that they in shape? And I think Anise is like falling to that category of like, I'm 62, I'm 63, but like I have a young spirit, so like let's go hiking and let's go kayaking and let's go rock climbing. I'm like, girl, sit down. Like, because she just want to prove that, like, you know, I'm not just like an old person. Like, I'm young spirited and things like that. I'm in shape and I can do all these things. And I'm like, just off of physical, like just physical activity, like he won't be able to even like keep up with her and things like that.
So he brought her yellow roses.
Yeah.
She tells him that she is 62 and he is in his 50s.
Yeah.
He's never dated an older woman before.
I told you, he's not into them.
But she can tell that he works out. She says that she is a power walker and she walks about 8 miles a day.
A week.
Yep. No, 8 miles, 5 days a week. So she walks 8 miles a day for 5 days a week.
I took that as she, in the span of 5 days or in the span of a week, she walked 5 miles. I mean, 8 miles, but you talk about 8 miles a day?
Yeah.
Why?
For fitness.
No, see, that's overdoing it.
Okay.
No, I'm not. See now, I'm on. See, look, I took it as like in a span of a week, she get her 8 miles in.
No,
right? But she talk about 8 miles a day,
5 days a week.
You overdoing it now, because now you trying to prove that you can like hang with a 40, 30-year-old type of. Nah, Anise, I'm off you. I'm off you for Nate for this one.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
He shares that he was in the Army. He got out on a disability. He was a paratrooper, broke his back, and injured his knee.
Yeah.
It's crazy that he meets so many active older women because there are a lot of things that he cannot do when it comes to activity.
Yeah.
And he says that, it sounds like you write women off because of their interest in those things, but you don't get to know them enough to know if they have friends that they can do those active things with and enjoy you for other things.
That's true.
She shared that she has her doctorate and he high fives her. She says she normally holds that back because she doesn't want to come across like she's bragging. He says that he does want someone who is educated, as long as she doesn't mind him looking up the big words that she uses.
So far, how is the date going for you, Blair?
So far, I felt like the date was going good. They seemed to be getting along. It didn't seem to be forced. And I felt like they were both open to just learning each other. So it was chill.
Yeah. Nate is very polite. But I knew the minute that she said her age, he was off it. Like, listen, your body can't hide from me, Nate. I know that sounds a little crazy coming from me, but the minute that she said how old she was, and then like I kind of saw like his body kind of like tweak a little bit, and then he was like, I never dated an older woman before, and guess what? You're not going to right now.
Right.
And so I automatically scratch that off because I think it hits different. I think older in the sense of, oh, okay, if I'm 48 and she's 50 or even 51, I think that's not like a hard gap to adjust to, even though it's just 2 to 3 years. But it's just something about that 60. It's something about like him being 56, him being like in his mid to late 50s, and she's being in her early 60s. It kind of give off like, ooh, like I'm dating a 60-year-old. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think it takes a different type of guy for that, in my opinion, especially if he's going to be younger than her.
Okay. Pam is nervous for her first date, and Logan says that Pam constantly brings things to the past. She would like her to focus on the future.
And let me go back because actually Pam did get interested near the end. But let me go back to Nate and Anise for a second.
Okay.
Because a person who is younger than Anise, they have to like their thing have to be dating older women. It can't be something that they just come across. Like,
I get what you mean.
Like basically like
they do this normally.
Exactly. Like you're not gonna come across a guy who never did it and his first time is gonna be dating a 60-year-old. Nah. Like that gotta be his thing of like, yeah, I always dated older women and stuff like that. Right. So when he said that he never did older women, I knew like she was scratched off his list immediately. You get what I'm saying?
Got you. So we get to Pam's date. She is on a date with Robert, who is 65. He's been divorced twice, single for 16 years, 1 child, and he is a sound mixer. He tells her that he's been waiting patiently, kind of telling a joke and kind of trying to hold her accountable for being late. And she tells him that she was in traffic. It's Atlanta. Okay. She retired 2 months ago. She was, of course, we know, a flight attendant. He asked her, oh, did you work for like commercial? And she said no, she worked for a private company owned by Warren Buffett. She also used to work with refugees for the defense, for the government.
Yeah.
And they talk a little bit about that. And then they get into how he went to a class for radio frequency and capturing sound. And Pam says that she's actually really interested in that because she thinks that creativity is gone. And she moves the conversation into her being tired of movie sequels and how there's no creativity there.
Okay. A lot, Pam.
Yeah. Back to Anise and Nate.
Yeah.
He says that he's a homebody. Anise is not quite the homebody. No. She meets people organically. She stopped the internet dating. When she was on the dating apps, when people said they were homebodies, she would just swipe away. Nate says a guy, of course, would probably want to go out with her because she looks so good.
Yeah, he said, like, the thing about a homebody is the one way to get him out the house, paraphrasing, is like he ain't gonna let you go out by like yourself and things like that. I don't know. Nate seemed confident enough to be like, yeah, I'm staying inside. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? like, even though he got nice clothes and things like that, and you can tell, like, when it comes to his appearance, like, he take it very seriously, especially first impressions. But, like, I'm not saying, now, granted, this doesn't mean that this is a bad date.
Right.
Right? You can still have a great date and that person still not be for you. And that's what I put this in a category
it's just not
of.
a match.
Yeah.
Well, Nate calls Logan. He enjoyed Anise, but he doesn't know if he would pursue an older woman long term.
Come on, I'm a prophet.
Anise calls Logan. She thought that the date went well. The conversation was easy, but he's a homebody. She's more social, and she's not sure if she would want to go on a second date.
And this is my only flaw with Anise, right? And I'm guessing now. We only seen what episode you on 5?
Yeah, I'm about to start 5.
You about to start
in real
5
time.
In real time. I'm on 4, so probably by the time this come out, I'll probably be on episode 5 or 6, right? I think Anise, her best friend is her daughter, right? And like they're real close. I love their relationship. I'm not going at the relationship, so let me put that hard stop. But I think Anise is in a position in her life to where she is in a mode of I'm not old. You get what I'm saying? So anything that seem or look or feel old, she's not gonna do it. Being in the house, no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be outside. I'm walking 8 miles a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I'm rock climbing. I'm doing everything in my power to prove to y'all and to myself that I can hang with y'all. Even how I dress. I'm not dressing like a 60-year-old lady and things like that. George, from the first episode, may say a little ghetto. You get what I'm saying? But no, I'm just trying to prove my youth, or prove that, hey, I still got it. You know what I mean? And I understand it, but I can see how it could kind of be mixed signals for like somebody that you're like across from. You get what I'm saying?
I think what stood out to me, that what Nate said in the conversation was that he wouldn't pursue an older woman long term. So that makes me think: are the men looking at Anise like a fling?
Yeah.
And does that have to do anything with the way that she presents?
Yes.
And exactly, I'm completely in agreement with you, but I think it's a little bit unfair because if she takes good care of her body,
of course,
and she is proud of what she's been able to accomplish when it comes to her physique, then I think that the age shouldn't matter. You should be able to dress however you want to. But on the flip side, what comes with that is that if you are a woman of a particular age and you're dating a man similar to that, and you appear or come across a certain way, then you are going to give off a certain just a certain way that you probably are not.
Oh, look, Blair, you're 100% right. And this is, and if it sounds like I'm blaming Anise, I don't want to make it seem that way.
I was just giving my opinion.
I'm a man. We're the problem. Because it's projection.
Yeah.
Is basically judging a book by its cover. I think when it comes to a man, right, especially at that age, they want to know that you will take care of them. You get what I'm saying? I'm old. I'm weary. Can't see. Can't drive in the night. Can't drive at nighttime. My bones ache. You get what I'm saying? But it just gives off that Anise, dude, you cook.
Yeah.
Are you trying to keep up with the Joneses in the sense of the social life? Or like, I understand you don't want to be a homebody, but I don't want to be outside. I'm old. Yeah. like, dude, like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I'm like, I'm only putting just a little bit of blame on Anise, but I don't know. That's why I say in order for her to find a guy that can match her level of going out and things like that, and she is divorced 3 times. I would like to know why. Outside of the first one and things like that. I wonder, she would need a guy that is used to dating older women. Like, that have to be his thing. It can't just be like...
But not just any type of older women. Older women who are still vivacious, social.
Well, whatever it is.
Like, she's a particular type.
Whatever his kink is. But it has to be it has to be one of those guys. Like, have you ever met one of those? Well, you probably haven't. But have you ever met one of those guys who be like, yeah, the oldest woman I dated before was like 12 years older than me.
Yeah.
Like it has to be that guy. You get what I'm saying?
Got you. So Pam is with Robert. She talks about why she quit her job. Yeah. And she's saying some things that she said she probably shouldn't say because she signed like a confidential agreement or something like that.
We gonna get that money from you.
Robert has an economics degree and he was also a financial advisor. And Pam says, if you would advise me, you'd say I was broke. he asked, what would she want in a relationship? She talked about her 2 dead husbands.
Yeah.
Not really answering his question.
Not at all.
Robert says, do you notice that you hardly ever ask me any questions? You really don't even know anything about me.
Uh-oh.
She asked where he's from, and he says, oh, now all of a sudden you care. He says, you know nothing about me. Have you noticed that? And that is where we end.
She was like, I know something about you. I don't think she know his name, to be honest.
I don't think so either.
Because she was going at it for a little bit. Listen here. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We will be back with episode 3.
Yes.
I'm going to release this. I'm going to release episode 3 in 3 hours after this episode. I see y'all then.
Bye.